Hey everybody, good morning. It says we're live. I never really know. This is a whole situation. Um, so good morning. I'm gonna wait for chat to populate over here. It always takes a hot minute. Um, I am on call today. Mr. Flowers has kindly agreed to cover the radio for 15 minutes so that we can be here. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. If you have any questions, please go ahead and drop those in the comment section so we can get to them. I'm going to have a hard stop at 8:15 today, so it's going to be pretty short. Um, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the midweek update sheet so that we can go over the Google form. And then we'll come back to the chat question. So, good morning. Today is Wednesday, September the 8th. I don't have any coffee if that tells you how the day is going. Um, Without any further ado, here we go. When is the PSAT? That's a good question. Let me see if I got it on the calendar. PSAT is on October 13th. Wednesday, October 13th for the PSAT. In the middle of the year, I stopped getting notifications from School Messenger. Okay, so if you're having any issues with School Messenger, I want you to go ahead and email me, cpatten2 at wcpss.net. And on that email, please include Chris Bunting, CBUNTING, C Bunting at wcpss.net, the two of it. Honestly, he has to do all the work. I just need the data to know like how many people are getting dropped and where. It helps me understand where the system might be causing some problems. How do we find you on Facebook Live? Well, sorry. Please don't answer this one in your next Facebook Live. But here we go. Post a video on YouTube to show us. I can work on that. I can work on that later, maybe this afternoon or tomorrow for anybody that can't find us on Facebook Live. Are the Facebook Live videos recorded? Yes. You can go to this same link. It's facebook.com/MHS Wildcats/live. If you type that in, it'll take you. If we're currently live, it'll take you to the live video. If we're not currently live, it will take you to all of the previous live videos. I'm still working on an easy way to move that to YouTube. It's not quite as easy as a push button because Facebook and Google, that whole tech thing. Sometimes they play nice, sometimes they make you work for it. This is the latter. But we'll try and get those in both places. I think I can download them from YouTube, but I think there's a cost at resolution and stuff like that. My child is under the impression that she will fail the healthful living course if she cannot complete 12 push-ups on her toes with correct form in 1 minute for the fitness test. That's not the case. So yes, can confirm. The end of this comment, just so everybody knows, for when I answer this, is I know very few adults who can do that. I'm one of those very few adults who can do that. I'm lucky to get 7 on a good day, and then no hope for any more for like 2 weeks. So yeah, you will not fail healthful living if you cannot complete 12 push-ups on your toes with correct form. You'll get a grade on improvement and stuff like that, but as long as you're out there trying to do the work, you're going to be okay. If you have any questions, please email your healthful living teacher. They'd be more than happy to clarify the details of that. What is the benefit of having access to both Powerschool and Canvas Parent? Do they show different things? They used to, for sure. We have worked a lot internally when it comes to the what we call assignments. 2-3 years ago, a teacher who was assigning things in Canvas might have the Canvas assignment labeled Unit 3 Guided Notes, but then in Powerschool they might enter like a formal title like Ecology Guided Notes, and those weren't always easy for parents to understand the connection. Now that should be much clearer. It should be the identical, like we've talked a lot about. The nomenclature has to match across Canvas and Powerschool. In addition, we have a lot of teachers who are using the grade passback feature in Canvas, where if the kid takes a quiz in Canvas, it automatically pushes the grade to Powerschool, and that requires the names matching as well, I think. But the answer to this question, what is the benefit of having access to PowerSchool and Canvas Parent, is that PowerSchool is the ultimate authority on where your student's current grade stands. And I hate saying it that way. We have to report grades over time, so there are deadlines for grades, but we know that learning things can click later for some kids. But at the end of the day, PowerSchool is the formal authority for what the grades are. The advantage of having a Canvas parent account is that you can see what assignments may be due. So if you're worried that your student's like, no, I got everything taken care of, don't worry about it, you can go into Canvas and be like, why do I see these 4 things past due? Or, dude, you've got a huge project coming up. Have you even started it? So it gives you access to their timeline. And we have asked all teachers to use the Canvas calendar so students can see their to-do list populated in Canvas for them. It's a really helpful tool. Additionally, I know there's a lot of, let me think about how to say this. There is discourse at the state level about a lack of transparency for what's being taught in classes. Um, Honestly, Canvas parent observer accounts are the answer. It's not an answer to that because I don't think it was a real problem, but in the name of, like, there's no other transparent way, like, is the most transparent. As a Canvas parent observer, you can see all the assignments, you can see the course materials, I think you can see your students' discussion posts. You can't see other students because of FERPA stuff and privacy expectations within a classroom, but you can see all of your student stuff and the work that is being given to them via Canvas. So it's a really detailed way to dive in and see what is there. And it's also, I know that some parents are frustrated, like, I don't know how to help my student. Well, part of that is making sure that parents have the language of how things work. I know when we switched to Common Core Math in like 2007 or 8, elementary parents were really, really frustrated because we learned how to borrow. And in a lot of curricula, that changed to ungrouping. You had to change the tens to ones. And we just didn't do a good job of giving parents the language of how to support their kids, even though the content was really the same. And so this is very similar. Having a Canvas Parent Observer account allows you to dive in and see what's happening. And you as an adult will be able to say, oh, I can coach my kid through reading this article, making annotations, or making an argument here. It gets parents closer to being able to be an active partner and not feeling like, oh, I have to pull out a textbook or look through all this work. Like, it's all right there. It's really valuable. Can you clarify the procedure for early pickup again? My daughter brought her note to guest services, but they told her to give it to a teacher. Any teacher? No, if you're checking out, you should take that note to Miss Cooper at guest services, and they should write you a pass to check out early. You certainly could check in. I will touch base with Miss Cooper. I'm going to try and touch base with Miss Cooper. Hey, quick question. If a student's going to check out early, right? Let's say they have a 12:30 appointment. They can bring you a note at the beginning of the day noting that, and you'll give them a note to leave class on time. Is that right? Yep. Right on. Thanks so much. Bye. Yes, she's giving a tour to some new students. I'll text her. Okay, bye. I like you guys, but I'm literally on Facebook Live right now. Okay, so no, the answer to that question is you should bring the note. They'll write you a pass. You'll show that to your teacher, and then while your student's in class, Miss Cooper will call to verify that note for checkout. So that's right. I don't know why that happened, but you have the right idea, and you should just do it again. There are days, like if Miss Cooper's out, maybe something changes. We've had a lot of different coverage situations this year, but in general, that should be how it works. Alrighty. Okay, so here we go. Isn't the library open until 3 in the afternoons for kids to stay and do homework? I had said that in the past. That is true. I said that out loud. And right now, we can't do that. Unless students are supervised with a specific program, athletics or other extracurricular, then they have to leave campus after school. So we're not in a place to be able to do unsupervised tutoring. I know that sounds weird because there would be adults in there, but it's also another level of contact tracing. And so right now, as we're waiting on things, we're not opening the library for general homework after school. Um, I will talk to Dr. Carr. I know NHS does some tutoring after school, and if they're doing that program, then we could certainly open it then for that. So that is certainly a misunderstanding created by myself. Um, can we still swap out older computers for newer ones? It depends. If your student has an HP Chromebook, then yes, more than likely that one will get swapped out. If they already have a Lenovo, maybe. Most of the Lenovo's are the current model that we want students to have. In any case, your student can take their current Chromebook to the Media Center before school or during their lunch and ask Miss Kraus or Miss Lemons, and they can get squared away. No problem. Last week you mentioned posting instructions in the notes about how to access. Yeah, I can repost. Absolutely. Parent Canvas Observer account. Here we go. Oh, I have to scroll all the way to the bottom to post a comment? That's lame. Parent Observer account info. So that's in, I just put that in. I'm confused by assignments in Canvas. They don't get marked as done if they're turned in during class. That's probably different for each teacher, just depending on how they're leveraging Canvas. So if you have a question, I would just email the teacher and ask them specifically, can you tell me, when does this get marked complete if they do it during class? So that you can help stay engaged, right? Like, that's important. And as much as we're trying to unify the experience on Canvas, there are going to be little idiosyncrasies from classroom to classroom. So I would just recommend reaching out to the teacher. Let me know if they don't have an answer, because there are some teachers who are new to Canvas and still trying to sort everything out, and I'm happy to help there. What is the most amount of credit a student can earn in one school year? That would be 8. If a student takes and passes all 8 classes, then they could earn 8 credits. Now, there are some exceptions to that. In some cases, we have students coming into their senior year who need 9 or 10 credits. There are some online mechanisms, but usually that's a recovery situation where a student hasn't passed a class. In general, the highest credits you can earn in a year is 8. Does the Canvas Parent Observer account access all classes, or do I need to sign up for a Canvas account? I think your account can access all the classes. Your student might have to generate a pairing code separately for each class. I don't know the details of that, but if you check out the instructions in the link, it might. Is there a separate pair of codes for each class? I think it is for each. My guess is it's for all classes. And thanks, Ms. Hallis. She seems to confirm that every class needs a separate one. My daughter just told me to give the note. Was told this morning. If you want to email Ms. Cooper, gcooper1@wcpss.net, about that, she'll probably call your daughter out of class and get her squared away. So we can knock that out. PSAT is October 13th. Now I want to go double check that. I looked it up earlier and I forgot. September, October 13th. PSAT. Yep, October 13th. If you have an older... Yeah, now, this is a good note. If you have an HP, we'll swap it out. If it's damaged or it's not working, we can't swap it out immediately. There is a procedure for us putting in a heat ticket and seeing if we can repair it first. It took us about 8 days to get the first set of techs out to look at our Chromebooks, but they tore through like 18 in about an hour. So just know that. They take the PSAT during school. Yes, they are pulled out of class for the PSAT. That's correct. Can you address any changes to rules around juniors, seniors eating lunch in their cars, coming back from campus and eating... Can you address any changes to rules around juniors eating in their cars, coming from campus, as well as eating home lunch in the car? So we haven't really addressed any changes. We haven't really changed anything. In general, we tell kids they can't eat in their car. But if a student leaves, happens to make it through their drive-through really fast, and gets back to campus, I don't know that we're going to make them leave. We do ask that students with an off-campus lunch pass leave campus to eat lunch. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Because after that, then we start having to make policy and procedure, not policy, we don't make policy. We have to start making on-site procedures about how to handle that. And it gets really messy and likely results in like bad traffic situations. Trying to locate a teacher's email address and it's not listed in the directory. Oh, yeah, I probably need to update the directory. It's hard because sometimes our new teachers don't get emails until like the day before school. So the best place to find that, I believe, if you have Powerschool and you click the teacher's name, it will try and open an email for them. Also, you can email them via Canvas, or you can email me and I can just give it to you. Or you can email your student's counselor or administrator and they can give that to you. But we'll work on getting the directory updated here in the next week. Why can we only see the last 4 comments on this post while you're talking? I'm wondering if it's because you're on a phone. Or maybe if you're on a computer, I'm not sure, because like I'm on my computer and I can scroll up and down and see everything. I don't have any idea what this is like on a mobile device. Any update in a Chinese teacher? Yes. Well, if you got the letter we sent home last week, not really. We're waiting on a background check at this point, and those can take a long time for individuals who have lived out of the country. I have to return a phone call to HR here in just a little bit, hopefully to get an official start date that I can communicate to everybody. But we have made a recommendation. We're very excited to get this person on board. And it was the kind of situation where it was worth the wait, if that makes sense. Like I wanted to have a quality person who could handle the tasks. And it was worth waiting a couple weeks if that's what was going to happen. But I know it's not great right now, and I'm sorry. Oh, it's one pairing code. Sorry, I read it wrong. So it seems that if your student generates a pairing code, you then get access to all of their classes. Can students still sign up for the PSAT on? Do I still have those sticky notes? I don't think so. I know the one registration closed. You can email Miss Sanchez, MA Sanchez at WCPSS.net, and get that answer finalized for sure. Yeah. Actually, I think you're right. The deadline is 9/10. So here's what we're going to do together as an experiment. I'm going to go to the website, Our School Weekly Principals Message, and I'm going to go to the August 22nd message. PSAT. That's not PSAT. Here it is, right here. Oh, that's PTSA. Sorry. Every time. That happens to me every time. PTSA. So it's not there. Maybe it's on the next week. I feel like I've put it in a weekly message. We haven't had that many, though. I do think you're right, Miss Novak. I think it is by Friday. Is there PSAT information on the website? Unsure. Testing. Pre-ACT. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Yeah, email your counselor or Miss Sanchez to confirm, but I think Miss Novak is right that it's 9/10. I can't see anything on the calendar. I only see, let me look and see what you're looking at. If I go to Our School calendars and schedules, master event calendar. Okay, so yeah, okay, this makes sense. My recommendation is go to Our School, and then there's a calendars and schedules tab, and in there we link our Google Master Calendar. It's the mechanism this website uses for calendars looks very pretty. on the user end, but it is really hard to manage because it doesn't speak to Google consistently. So we have opted just to go with the master calendar. So you should be able to go to our school master event calendar. If you don't see it there, let me know. I'm wondering if it's a sharing setting that I might be able to change. Um, oh yeah, thank you. There's a link right there. If you come to Facebook Live late, you won't see older comments. If you use the full screen feature, only a few comments show at a time. Huh. Do you see all the comments like after the video posts? Because I think I set it up to. Maybe there's a way I can change that in settings. I'll have to look at that. That's a good question. Um, the pairing code is easy. Thank you, man, Miss Hallis. You're saving the day today. Um, the other part about comments is if you're watching this without a Facebook account, that may be the comments issue. Um, can sophomores take the PSAT in October? I think the PSAT is open to all grade levels, but you'll need to register. And I think it's $18. What do you do when your child misses classes in Virtual Academy for doctors? I would just email the teachers and let them know, and then their stuff should still be posted in Canvas. Sorry, I know we're going over the 15 minutes I said. If they call me on the radio, I may have to like roll quick, but I'm trying to just answer stuff. Thanks, Ms. Miller, for posting that info. And I'm behind now. Everybody's answering all the questions. From the laptop. If my child is homesick, do I need to do anything specific for when they return? We believe she is having side effects due to a new medication, but we weren't sure with COVID guidelines. Okay, so yeah, this is great. Let's talk about this. Because when administrators have been on call, we're sending anywhere from 12. The other day I sent home 18 kids. We have a list, and I don't have it in front of me. Normally I keep it printed off and carry it around with me. We have a list of specific symptoms. And if a student is showing any of those symptoms on campus, we're going to send them home. And there are three things that can happen. You can assume they're positive and begin the quarantine protocol. That tends to be everyone's least favorite option, which I understand. You can go to a healthcare provider and get an alternate diagnosis in writing, and we've seen a lot of that, allergies and stuff in the fall. We had a bronchitis situation. And then the other option is to get a negative COVID test and return when you no longer have symptoms. And that's hard, right? It's really frustrating because, like, if a kid says, "Hey, I'm nauseous," that's on the COVID health list. So okay, I'm gonna have to run in a second. But it is a little frustrating. So if you're homesick, you don't need to do anything when you return, as long as your student isn't showing any kind of symptoms. If she's feeling better, by all means, come on back. We don't need any of the details. Nobody's going to say anything, as long as we didn't send them home with something. The doctor can also write a note saying, "Hey, this student's on new medication and may experience the following," and then we won't go into COVID protocols. We'll have that documentation. If our student does qualify for the county to pay, do we still have to sign up? Yes, you still do need to sign up, for sure. And remember that the district is only paying for juniors in the top 10% of all GPAs, and we don't know what that is yet. If I click on the little calendar icon on the front page, so the little calendar icon on the front page goes to the school wires calendar, which we don't use. I'll see if I can remove that or change the hyperlink, but I don't know that I have access to that. And yes, we don't want you to pay if you qualify because we can't refund you for that. Okay, very quick last call for questions. I love you all. Sorry it was so frenetic getting here. Thank you to everybody who continues to submit questions in the Google form. I'll hop on YouTube later. Actually, I'll probably have to make a screen share video and post it to YouTube on how to get here for the Facebook. But in general, this seems to have been a solid option. So I think we're going to stay here for a little bit. As always, email your counselor and admin if you need anything. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe out there, and we will talk to you next week.